a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a thinker, 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 thinker. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker. I'm a thinker. I'm a thinker. I'm a thinker. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby. I'm a thinker, I could break it down. I'm a shooter, a drastic baby.
In 3, 2, 1.
Alright, there we go.
Hey everyone, this is Zell, and I'm joined here by Frosty, Axis, and Grace, our animated elf. We're gonna be doing the near raids in Shadowrunners that were actually just finished this month. This is my character. You'll see Frosty's in a moment. I'm in here so I can use the unended journey to show the one cutscene in this entire thing that actually matters. So we're just gonna queue up now.
Yeah, so the start of the near raid content was a primarily a 14 storyline.
Give me leader.
You are
Oh, sorry.
you are introduced to these two characters of the race of dwarves from the first, named Anog and Konog. They are brother and sister and twins. Anog and Konog like to get into trouble and cause trouble, and have found a mysterious entrance to some weird place that does not quite look like it belongs. And you are asked to try to convince them to stop investigating it, stop doing stuff, and instead they rope you in and convince you to instead help them investigate. You guys locate a pod from near Automata, and after getting some information from that, we begin the first raid as you infiltrate the copied factory, which is almost identical in appearance to the factory from the beginning of Nier Automata.
Yep. This entire game takes place on the first. It takes place in an area that is somewhat difficult to access normally outside of this tunnel. It takes place beyond the mountains on the island of I can't remember the island's name, but where a lot of the game takes place.
Kalusia.
Kalusia, yes. It takes place
It's in the mountains of Kalusia, kind of hidden. On the overworld map, you can't see it. You can only see the factory once it's accessed through the tunnels. However, on the overworld map, which Zell can probably show you guys if he wants after the raid, you can see the puppet's bunker from the overworld map, which is the second instance of the raid.
Yeah, and
Um,
it's very neat when you do finally see it. So let me see if I can. Yeah, so you can see that Norvron is about this large, and the Puppet's Bunker takes place in like this general area, while the rest of that takes place in this area. It is north of Mount Glug. The raid takes place north of Mount Glug, which is a large mountain. We'll do our best not to spoil the actual Shadowbringers plot, although if you have literally just started and you know nothing about Shadowbringers, the moment we zone into those areas, you will notice something possibly different than you would. There would be an immediate spoiler in just the environment itself. So I am trying my best by being inside of my suite. In fact, actually, you can see the spoiler right here.
If you stick to Tomra.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick in my room and then the cutscene, so it won't spoil much.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say if you wanted to go show off the Puppet's Bunker, all you gotta do is just stick to Tomra and don't look up.
No, I mean,
until you get to the bunker.
Unfortunately, I mean it's at this point I don't feel bad. Yes, at some point darkness returns to the first. That's obviously. I mean that's it's
the
called
whole point.
it's called
the DLC.
Yeah, it's called it's called narrative obviousness.
Yeah, but
So the other thing is obviously that the races on the first have analogs to races on the source. Dwarves are lalas, but on this plane they always wear their beards and helmets.
Yeah, technically the dwarves are Lalafels, though they are considered a beast race in the first. Because, angry potato. But yeah, culturally they do not show their faces. If you run into a dwarf without a helmet on, they have been exiled from their village and are not welcome and are considered to be like a bastard.
Yeah, and for obvious reasons, we will be watching all of these scenes. Even if raiders start early, we will be staying here. So this is the copy factory. It's extremely similar to the original factory. You can see like the mountains here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's almost like it was copy and pasted.
Imagine that.
Imagine.
And you can kind of. At some point, if I look, I might be able to see Mount Blood suspended in the air. I don't think you can see it in Copy Factory, but you can in Puppet's Bunker.
Yeah, you can in Puppets.
You can in Puppets.
I have wondered in Copy. I don't think you can in Copy, but I know you can in Puppet.
No, like I was telling you the other day, Zell, I literally did this like 3 days ago for my guild.
Nice.
In Sino Alice, and yeah, you can't. You can see Glug in Puppet's Bunker, and you can see Puppet's Bunker from the overworld, but Copy Factory is an instanced area, so you can't see it outside of the instance.
Yeah, here we're gonna be following Nog and Connaught, the dwarves, and 2P, which is a android that we found, kind of half dead.
Befriended.
Yeah.
Befriended. Yeah, sure. 2P shows up and after you find the pod and basically is like, yo, the machines are evil and going to attack you guys. I need your help. So you go to help 2P stop the machines, and that's how you end up in the factory. So 2P runs along with you this whole time and does 2P things.
Watch.
So yeah, the first boss here is just essentially a normal robot. You're gonna immediately, as a Nier fan, recognize these orbs. They are the Nier, kind of. You'll be seeing these throughout the raid. They are based from the Nier games.
They hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah. Specifically, you'll notice this first raid is a lot of automata. We keep saying that these raids have Drakengard references and original Nier references, and that is true. However, for the first raid, it is purely automata reference. So the shape of those orbs, the way you're going to see the attacks, are all identical to how they would exist in the automata universe.
The main reason is obviously this was a major selling point for Shadowbringers at the time. Stormblood wasn't the most successful expansion. It wasn't hated, but it wasn't the most popular thing in the world. So they definitely had used this in the marketing by quite a bit. So they made sure that the first raid, it seemed, was familiar to, because that's the game that people are familiar with. Automata has sold significantly more than the rest of this franchise. And, I'm about to do. You did. There we go.
Oh.
This raid actually uses a lot of mechanics that, if you are new, if you just kind of skipped the story, a lot of these mechanics will be appearing for the first time if you skip the story to Shadowbringers. That is highly not recommended if you play this game. Raids do get more and more complicated as they go on, and things are introduced in side content. And a lot of this is stuff that was introduced in other normal mode raids that were optional. So even if you did the story but you just did nothing else, you will most likely... okay. I think I hit Ted Step twice by accident. That's okay.
You did.
The general consensus is that Final Fantasy XIV in general is so story driven, and in a good way. It is a great story. Not that it doesn't have its faults, but it is a great story. That it is highly not suggested that the first character you make, or at least one character, needs to go through the MSQ.
Yeah.
And experience it.
And
I mean, you have to pay to get past it anyway if you want to skip it. So it's kind of like, just play the damn game.
Yeah, even if like I don't like even if you're just a mechanics person, you just like the game, just want to play the mechanics with friends, you should still please doc. There we go.
It does a good job of teaching you the mechanics as well via the story.
And via the side content as well. It's important to not skip things like these optional trials and optional alliance raids, because they do a great job of teaching you over time. And
mechanics. I laugh because I actually was told. Oops, I killed myself.
Yes, she was told to skip story. It's very unfortunate.
I was told to skip story. I played A Realm Reborn and then was told to story skip all the way to Shadowbringers.
Yeah, so she literally missed like the best expansion, or arguably the best expansion. It's either this one or Heaven's Ward. One day we will play through them again.
One day.
Yeah, her ex was a terrible person, if only, or probably just for that reason, but probably fine person.
If you do want me to roll up a new character and we could always go through it together, I'm happy to.
True.
But yeah,
I
so...
do.
Sorry.
Like I said, I have a level 1 untouched character. I think on Ether is actually where she is. So
on the second raid here, the music for these first two are the same. It is a remix. All these songs are remixes from Automata in this raid. The final one though, once that one gets started and we kind of explain what's going on, I'm gonna raise the background music because it is an extremely good song. The remix for the final boss in this raid is extremely good if you are a fan of Final Fantasy or near. This is what is called a trust raid, so this isn't a boss, this is just going to be a thing that we have to do. If you're wondering that this looks very easy, it is. This raid is multiple patches old, so everyone here is very overgeared. The next two are going to be a little bit longer, every part of it, especially the third one, as the third one is brand new.
Third one, even I'm under geared for, and I have a higher gear level than you.
Yeah, like its recommended gear level is pretty low too, as they make these alliance raids accessible for basically anyone. They are meant to catch people up who aren't as good at the game onto gear. Their intended purpose is to basically be catch-ups. They give you ways to upgrade your gear that aren't through the hardest content, the hardest content intended to be played by the average player, which is Savage.
Savages are not meant to be played by the average player.
In theory, they are. Anyone can eventually beat a Savage raid. It's all.
Yeah, Savages were designed with having like just everyone in mind being able to beat them. The true hardcore content for the game is actually the ultimates.
Yeah, the ultimate difficulty. Yeah, the ultimate. So the way that this game works, so in difficulty, it starts with normal mode,
Your
which
dance
is...
partner.
Oh yeah, I always forget that, and especially in raids. So in this order, it kind of goes normal mode, which is story. You can also call it story mode. They are extremely easy. It's the difficulty that dungeons are on. Some dungeons have a hard mode. In this game, hard mode dungeons aren't actually harder. Don't think of them like heroic dungeons in WoW. They are essentially sequels to the story of the first dungeon. Then there's normal mode trials, which are meant to be beaten in the story. They can be beaten essentially as long as one tank and one healer can stay alive the entire time. They will eventually end. Then there is extreme trials, which are intended to be beaten by the majority of players who give it an honest effort. And they will usually drop weapons. And this fight, I am never going to look at Hobbs. So you got your one look at Hobbs, and I am looking at the wall for the rest of the raid.
Yeah, hey, you guys like GLaDOS? Here's a GLaDOS reference. But like Zell said, don't ever look at Hobbs. Hobbs,
He does nothing.
The way the
He
actual
occasionally
boss.
throws lasers at you. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the actual boss has 0 indicators on him. So all of the indicators you're looking for are actually above you or on the back wall.
Yep. This one is fun. I wish I was a tank to show you like the way to resolve this mechanic.
How?
Towerfall, the way to resolve it properly is the tank is supposed to take these.
Thank you.
just to give you an idea of what Zell was saying, as far as trials being able, like the first trials you get to, being able to be taken care of by just as long as a tank and a healer stay alive the whole time. The first time, I'm not going to say which trial it was, but it was one of the very earliest ARR trials. I actually died at the very same time as the boss, and I still got credit.
Yeah.
As long as you're in the... It doesn't matter if you're alive or dead when you're in content in this game. You are a part of the group, and if the group clears, you get the clear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This game is extremely friendly to the average player. Unless you want to try... So after Extreme Trials is normal raids, is normal raids. Those
normal raids are considered to be easier than Extreme Trial.
Yeah, sorry.
Really?
Yes, but they are generally longer and a little bit more reliant on you doing your job properly. You can actually wipe your raid a lot of the time in a normal raid. Trials, it's usually a lot harder to. And then after that is Alliance raids are technically harder than normal raids. They are longer. It is very possible to kill the entire Alliance raid if you do the wrong thing. If I was tank, I would actually show that off in the next one as a joke. It is extremely possible to kill the entire Alliance.
I do want to interject. Someone did mention you don't get blue mage spells if you're dead. That is true, but blue mage in and of itself as a class is not meant for new players. It is a very advanced class. It is something to do
Blue mage is not a class.
Yeah.
So the issue here is you guys are bringing up Blue Mage, which you should not think of as a class in this game. It is not a class. It is content.
Yeah.
Blue Mage is its own content in this game, similar to the Alliance raids and such. It is intended to be played as a single player or only with a group of Blue Mages as Blue Mage content, which is why they don't refer to it as it's called a limited job instead of a job class, and it's content. It is just extra content in the game.
It sure is fun though to kick your entire team off of the platform.
Yeah.
With just this kick.
It was annoying during Yokai Watch, though, when you weren't a blue mage.
So in this part here, you're going to see that every alliance actually has a different platform and a different mechanic that they have to tackle with. One is slide-in platforms. Ours is oil protruding from the ground. And then the other is... I actually can't remember at this time. Somebody else might be able to remember what the other mechanic is.
We have conveyor belts. We have something to do with...
Conveyor belts. It's conveyor belts, circles, and lines.
Yes.
So one of the platform you're on is the circle platform. There's another platform with the same mechanic that Zell's has got going, but instead of it being in circles, it's in lines. And then the other one is a conveyor belt where it just kind of flings you from one side to the other.
Yeah, and as you can see, it's now introducing those mechanics in. Again, our alliance seems to be quite powered up. Here.
We can just stand in that, no one cares. Wait, bye.
So that is the second one down. Same music as the first one. Now we're gonna fight some what were bosses in Automata, but are now just kind of trash bosses in this game.
Oh, the Angels?
Yeah,
Yes.
oh, not Endels, the
Tanks.
the taint,
Oh, the
taint,
tanks.
yeah, the
Got it.
the taint and the
The
flight unit.
next fight is a flight unit and a tank.
Yeah.
Out of my way, Lucy. Did I go the wrong way? Yes.
Oh god, somebody tried to pull this thing away. That's very annoying. It's kind of balanced to be the fight. The entire is kind of balanced as if the character's in the middle, but that's okay.
Yeah, Angry Robot floor is the easiest of the three.
Yeah. This is definitely the easiest of the fights here by a significant amount.
I love this trash fight. It's like such a nap for me.
Yeah, this boss is trying to circle around. It's going to circle around to one of the taints and then start firing off a laser. Or an energy ring if it takes too long. And now it's dead.
And there's that.
And then the flight unit here. As you can see, everyone is firing off their limit breaks. So limit breaks can only, oh shoot. Limit breaks do expire when you start a boss, so it is fine. So we didn't use it in the last fight, so everyone's just using it on this to make this go faster, because it'll go to 0 anyway.
Ow. I hate people.
So do I.
You may as well just res yourself, so that you don't have the weakness.
Nah, it doesn't too terribly matter in this one.
So what's the lore behind this? At this point, we're not 100% sure why this is here. We'll find out later.
So there is not going to be lore for this raid angel until the very last boss, which is when I'll start talking about it again. So the thing with Copied Factory, which is the first of the 3 Nier raids, is it was kind of an introduction to the idea of Nier Automata for people who might not have played it before. So it's introduced, you get introduced to Pod and 2P, and Pod and 2P kind of go, hey, the machines are the enemy, so you come in here to fight the machines. And then when you get to the final boss, you get a big old whoop-de-doo surprise because, oh my god, how is that actually the final boss? I thought we were fighting the machines. And once we get there, I'll explain that. And then between now and Puppet's Bunker, while they're in queue, we will explain what happens in between those 2 raids. And then Puppet's Bunker is where you start seeing some heavy implications. Now, the weird thing about the 14 raids, compared to everything else, is you can sit here and just take it all as a reference, or you can think about it as an overarching like addition to the storyline. There is no real clear indication where this happens in relation to the actual games. All we know is it's somewhere. Yeah. What was originally thought was it's somewhere after the ending of Automata, but based on the very last, like, it's kind of, how do I explain this without spoiling anything? So up until the final raid, starting with like the end of this one and Puppet's Bunker, it was, a lot of people's theory was that it was post Automata, and specifically post a specific ending of Automata. but a lot of people are thinking that it might be an alternate timeline based on what happens at the end of the final raid, which will explain why that is the newer theory when we get there. So right now the consensus is similar to Drakengard 3, how Accord was going through and trying to find the correct timeline to where everything doesn't go to shit. We have to, like, this is an alternate timeline that is newer to the game, or newer introduction. Yeah, it is post-Automata. Taro said it was post-Automata, but Taro didn't specify how it was post-Automata. And based on the knowledge we have of how Automata ends, this does not line up with any of the known endings of Automata.
Yeah, I was just going to say, like, really all we know is that Taro has said that it was canon, and after...
Yeah, it's Taro wrote this himself.
Yeah.
Everything in here is written by Taro himself and should be taken as canon to the Nier universe.
He also designed the fights. So this entire thing, this is what's called a guest, essentially a guest content. It was made, written, etc. It is canon to both the game it comes from in this case, as well as Final Fantasy XIV, versus the Ivalice storyline, which is not canon to the Ivalice games, as the events in Ivalice happen in essentially the reverse order that they happen in the proper canon. In the original canon of that, War of the Lions, Final Fantasy Tactics, happens years and years and years after the events of Final Fantasy XII, and Final Fantasy XII is the dead civilization that you discover via, all the things. Well, in Final Fantasy XIV, Final Fantasy Tactics had happened thousands and thousands of years in the past, and you are discovering its contents inside of a world that is much closer to Final Fantasy XII. So this is similar in that this is canon, and it was written by that author, and it is well integrated into the world. It is written by Yoko Taro, but with guidance from Yoshi P, the lead writer and game director for this game.
Yeah, basically the way this went was Yoko Taro and the Automata, or Yoko Taro and the Nier team sat down and went, this is what we want, and then Yoshi translated that into 14.
Yeah.
Which is what he does so well.
Yes.
To be honest.
There are other examples of guest content, usually from the Final Fantasy series itself. This is the first that is explicitly a reference, or not even so much a reference, to another series altogether. There is other references to other games.
There are events.
Yeah.
They are limited time events, and that's where you really have to differentiate, because like the Yokai Watch, you're playing existing content. It's just that you have an item, or you're doing collecting or something like that. There's not really a story, not like there is here, and it also has no bearing whatsoever on Yokai Watch itself. Whereas this is different.
Like we said, Mordak, a lot of the content like that, where it's the within Square Enix. So Square Enix is crossing its own games within. Yeah, so the 15 content. So technically, the guys from 15 at some point canonically fell into our world and then fell back out of it.
Yeah.
And that is canon. That just happened. Now we have a car.
Yeah, Yorha in the 14 world is very possibly, like, because of the way that its world works, these are all very easily canon. It's not a stretch.
Technically the so FNL said it's a reference to other 14 FF games. Yeah, this is just basically like a massive like love letter.
Yeah.
Shantoto technically existed on this plane. Fun fact. So the thing that a lot of people don't realize, because people they make references to Shantoto, they make references to this and this. 14's world, the source, what we are on, is canonically the same world 12 took place in. Technically, it is canonically the same world Tactics takes place in. It is also canonically the same world 11 takes place in.
Mhm.
So, Final Fantasy Tactics 12, 11, and 14 are all the same world. They are the same. It's the same planet, same like
Same races.
continents, everything. So we are when we're talking about this, like right now we're exploring Bajda and we're helping out the Dalmascan, what's left of the Dalmascan resistances. Fran is alive. Fran is a character in this game. You like during the Stormblood raids, which is the Ivalice series that we were talking about, you could just go talk to Fran. She just exists.
Oh, here's the cutscene.
Oh yeah,
So I'm
this
gonna
is cutscene.
once we kind of explain the initial thing, I'm gonna turn up the music for this one because the music is very good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a different Ivalice, but kind of same thing.
All right, so what we got out of that cutscene there was our first look into, hey, something's not quite right here. This entire time we've been fighting machines. This entire time we've been trying to help 2P stop the person controlling the machines, because that's what 2P was telling us. But that's a little weird. That's 9S. As we know, 9S is one of our protagonists from the original Nier Automata game. So you sit here and you see him not only show up, but fly in on a flight suit and kind of, this is a remix of Weight of the World that they made specifically for this fight.
Yeah.
For anybody wondering. And all of a sudden he's here and you're just kind of looking at 2P going, this is 9S. And 2P goes, he's crazy, we have to kill him. So
yeah, this really plays into your emotions if you know the game. Also, this theme, when it was shown to Yoshi P the first time, made him cry on the spot because he had never heard it, and they showed it to him live on a live letter, and he cried a little bit because it was that he didn't know that this was the song. But from here, we're gonna be quiet and let you listen to this masterpiece. if you're curious, at this part where it starts playing the prelude is where Yoshibia, oh, prelude! He like freaked out when he heard that part. Just he had no idea.
Also, for anybody who's played Nier Automata, you'll recognize the attack that just went off on screen.
Oh, we didn't skip the second one. That's okay.
But yeah, so like we were saying, with this boss being 9S, you kind of get your first moment of the fuck. Which is why, without any other context, a lot of people expected this to be after, I want to say it's ending C. The ending where 9S goes insane. Oh god, I can't remember if it's B or C.
I'm pretty sure it's C. It's
Yeah.
in one of those.
But yeah. So 9S gets ejected and collapses. 2P wants to kill him, but I believe if I remember correctly, the dwarves stop 2P from killing him, and then 2P suddenly collapses. And you guys end up carrying both 9S and 2P back out, and the dwarven siblings hide 9S's body from
I won
2P.
something!
Nice!
What did I win?
Yeah.
Oh, I got pod 316. Yay!
Oh, sick.
dark
That's the
one?
rare one. Yeah.
I'm still waiting for the
So
rolls.
currently the cutscenes you won't get to see after this. While Zell waits on rolls, I will explain. So you guys carry 2P, a now broken 2P, and 9S out of the bunker, or out of the factory, back to the dwarves' little bunker hole. You hide 9S in a back room, and you put 2P out on their main table. And then you go through a few quests just with the dwarves collecting, under the guidance of the pod, collecting parts from the factory to be used to repair 2P. When you are in the factory, you find that there are a lot of dead android bodies, just kind of strewn about. It's kind of weird. They all look like 2B, vaguely. So you collect some of those android parts, bring them back, and then the break between this patch and the next time it was released was the the siblings repairing 2P. Now we get into the section of the game for the Puppet's Bunker, which starts with you helping the dwarves set up a festival.
Yeah, this plot loses itself a little bit for some reason.
Yeah.
It's not the
Yeah.
strongest thing. It's not the strongest plot.
So you go back and the dwarves go, hey, get Anog and Konog to help us with this festival, and Anog and Konog are like, no, but we gotta keep working with the pod, and we gotta keep fixing 2P, and no. So you convince them to come out of their little hole, and they come out of the hole, and while you guys set up this festival, and the festival begins, and y'all are having happy fun times, 2P shows up, awake and alive, and the twins go, 2P, our friend, you're okay, you woke up, this is great. And then 2P proceeds to have a bunch of her white android buddies appear out of nowhere. And a bunch of flight units, white flight units, specifically white flight units, and other androids similar in appearance and in white outfits to 2P, show up in force and proceed to destroy the village. Right as one of the 2P is about to strike the final blow on you and the dwarven siblings, none other than 2B herself swoops in to save the day, keeps you from getting killed, and drives 2P and the other white androids back into the Puppet's Bunker. Proceed to some more Final Fantasy XIV bullshit storyline where the entire village is pissed at you and the twins, and they make you 2B and the twins leave and blame you for everything and all of the destruction. So you go back and 2B goes, well, I'm going to chase them, and the twins go, well, we're not going to let you go alone, and then you go, Jesus Christ, and
then
you
23
proceed to...
of our friends join us.
Yeah, and then you and 23 of your friends chase these three into the Puppet's Bunker, where they are on their way to fight and destroy the white androids in their stronghold.
Oh, hello. Thank you for the huge rate. Hi, I'm Zell.
Yeah.
I run this channel. So does Frosty. Wow, that's really
Hi.
cool. I don't know who you are, but I'm very thankful.
Let me look them up.
So yeah, so going into Puppet's Bunker, at this point, you have been betrayed by 2P, and 2B is now on your side and going to assist you in stopping the evil white androids that just blew up your village. And that's where we are going into Puppet's Bunker. Like we said with the first game, or with the first raid, there was not a lot of references outside of Automata until that final boss when we saw 9S and you kind of had your moment of, but 9S isn't a bad guy, right? Surprise, he's not. 2P was playing you. This raid is more Automata references and some pretty wacky Drakengard ones. So I will be pointing out each of the references and being like, so this is literally a direct reference to this from this raid, this from this raid, and this from this raid. You'll recognize this room, you'll recognize this room. And we'll keep going through with the story, and then Zell should be playing a cutscene in between this one and the next one, which will introduce what leads us into our third raid, which is the last one. But the Puppet's Bunker is the raid that led to my favorite tweet I've ever seen in my entire life. Which I don't know if I've sent it to Zell. I probably should. But it was just a fan tweet after Puppet's Bunker came out. That said, Square Enix might refuse to acknowledge Drakengard exists, but Yoko Taro's over here in Final Fantasy XIV holding a gun to the entire head of the population saying, you don't have to fuck around. You will find out.
Yeah. Well,
As the person of the lore, are there any heavy Dodd 3 spoilers coming up in these raids?
no, not
Yes.
this one.
Not this one, but
This,
there's
the
The
very
next
first
one.
boss is the very first. So in this raid, the very first boss is a Dodd 3 reference, and I will point it out for those who have clearly not noticed.
But yeah, there are some Dodd references coming up. Actually, the first boss,
First boss of Puppets Bunker is a Dodd reference. It's a Dodd 3.
it is a Dodd 3 reference. You'll see it in both the attacks and the boss itself.
Mhm.
It is very minor, though. It is purely just a, oh wow, that's a Dodd 3 reference kind of thing, not a, oh
Yeah,
wow, this
it's-
is huge
it's-
implications.
It's well, it has implications once you get to the third raid, but I'll circle back around to the implications of it when you get to the third raid. But yeah, it's the first boss is technically a Dodd 3 reference. You guys should recognize it as you know, we played Dodd 3 earlier.
But it's, yeah, this raid gets very cool. I guess on the FF14 stuff, I love
just
this.
trying to reach
I love
for it
this
yet.
game. So everyone should play it. It is. I'm gonna do the meme. I'm gonna do it. There's literally 200 hours of good content for free now. You can play this game up to level 60. You can play every single class to level 60. Complete all of the content. The only restrictions is you are severely limited on the amount of gold you are allowed to have on your person, and that can actually start to feel limited pretty quickly. If you do try to play, you cannot play. You can play with other people, but you cannot talk to other people. So there are some severe social limitations in the game. But if you want to play it as a JRPG that you sometimes happen to play with other people, it's perfect for that. But
Since when did they put the speech restriction in? Is it because of the bots?
yeah,
yeah.
you can't talk and trade outside of specific circumstances that I don't remember right now. But you are
There
pretty
are those-
severely socially limited when you're playing, which is this game has a lot of people who play it purely as a second life in a way. This game has a lot of things you can do. This is going to be a little, sad thing to say, but honestly, if you are somebody who's struggling a lot, there are people in this game. You can make good friends just playing this game and finding people. The community in this game is very nice, and when you find a community that gels with you, it really does pull off that kind of second life thing a little bit.
I actually joined like 3 different communities that were all on the same data center as I was. I pulled from an existing community that I'm in, which is what convinced me to start trying it. And then I found 2 other communities on Twitch that also heavily play, and
Yep.
they were on the same data center as me, and they helped run me through raids. They are helping me get through content, and I love being able to, at any time, say, hey, who wants to raid with me? And I've got people from all 3 communities ready to jump in, ready to go whenever I am. So that's how I ran my first trial, and I love every minute of it.
And I just pointed to, you can see Mount Blood in the distance. Minor spoiler, you're probably wondering what's going on with the mountain in the sky. It's not a spoiler that it's there, but it gets up there.
There's a mountain in the sky. Oh no, next.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so there's how you can see kind of where this raid is. So this is what is called a an Osmos boss, essentially. It is a boss that is a single entity, but each raid needs to be in a different spot, or else everyone will die. So it's commonly
Technically,
referred
no.
to.
We all could be in one corner, but we pretty much would kill each other quickly.
So it's called an Osmos boss because Osmos was the first boss to do this. Osmos is from Final Fantasy IX. That is the same Osmos. Other bosses that were really popular that have used this exact same mechanic of being in different parts is the Thunder God Cid from Final Fantasy XII and Tactics. But these are really fun. This boss uses
a tank.
What? Oh, He
tank
probably got
just-
deleted. He probably stood in the wrong section.
Our tank got yeeted.
So the way that these work is essentially each tank is going to be targeted. This boss is going to try to target each tank once for auto attacks, and a lot of the mechanics will be based off of like each alliance. So it's going to target people in each alliance. So for example, me, I am getting targeted with this. I need to run away from the raid, or else everyone will die.
Well, we just get to stand here.
Yep.
I do have to say, I really love the design of these bosses. And just the scale.
Yeah. But yeah, the alliance raids, so I would like to point out, alliance raids are a complete, as mentioned in chat, these are complete cluster. I am barely playing,
Yeah.
I am barely playing at my peak. I am just hitting buttons to deal some amount of DPS. In the end, these are kind of these are extremely casual content.
Mm-hmm.
These will take, as long as there's enough people alive the entire time, you will beat each boss. No boss will enrage. They will never end. They'll just keep repeating their
There
commands.
are
Actually, no,
some,
we do
there
have
are
one
some
enrage.
alliance. There are some alliance bosses
Yes.
that do enrage, but it's very rare.
Yeah, and at this point, I don't think there's been one since Death Guys.
Yeah.
We have a mini boss that does.
But yeah. So back to what I was or what I mentioned earlier, because I saw somebody bring it up in the chat. Yep, this boss should look familiar to anybody who played Dod 3 with us. It seems to have a vaguely 5-petaled flower shape with some shit sticking out of the middle. It may or may not, be actually identical in shape and structure to the flower from Zero's Eye.
Yeah.
If you look when the particle effects aren't there, it's easier to see. But if you look at the stem of the boss that is pointing down into the ground, it is also set up in the exact same way that the daemon coming out of Zero's flower is.
You should recognize these if you watched the end of Dod 3. This attack is not a subtle reference.
Oh, and this isn't the only time you see it either.
Well, you'll see the Dod 1 version of this attack later.
Yeah, so this boss is specifically a machine contraption for a unit, a fighting unit built by the White Robed Androids that is in the exact, shape of Zero's flower.
Yep.
The title of one of its main moves is Life's Last Song, and it does spit out white rings in angelic. So,
yeah.
This is the first time in the raids we see a Drakengard reference, and you kind of stop and go, "Bro, what?"
Yeah, it would, like, even as somebody who is my only references to Drakengard in Nier is watching these lore runs from the last one and this one, and even I caught this unsubtle reference.
Yeah, this is not an unsubtle. This is not an unsubtle reference. It's once again Yoko Taro's out here with a gun to the head of all of the Final Fantasy XIV population, saying, "You don't gotta fuck around. You will find out."
Yeah. He did a great job.
Yeah. So, like I said, this is the first time that we kind of see something referenced to one of the Drakengard games. While it is supposed to be as we said, a Nier Automata crossover, that was what it was presented to us as. We are seeing this boss, you do see this boss here, and then specifically the kind of mini DDR games showing up. This is the first and last time we will see a Dod reference in the raid, at least for the continuation of Puppet's Bunker. We will see another one afterwards, though, in one of the cutscenes we are going to go out of our way to watch for context.
Also, yeah, I guess technically the first reference is in Copied Factory a little bit, sort of, in that it's got like this white mist that's reminiscent of the. You could call that a
White.
a
You
Nier.
could say that. Yeah, I was gonna say you could argue that the white ash that is falling at the end of that raid is reminiscent of the white chlorination syndrome, and the white ash that falls at the end of Drakengard, but it could also, just be gross.
Yeah, it could. Yeah,
It's hard to tell what the intent was with that one in particular.
Yeah, this part has a very kind of low key theme, kind of like
Yeah.
parts of Automata, where the music is very low key.
Yes. There are several boss fights that you're gonna see coming up from the front, or coming up that are just going to have very quiet boss music, or very it's not gonna be exciting.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word, it's not gonna be like the normal Final Fantasy music. It's gonna be very somber. Because again, all of this was written and planned by Yoko Taro, and the Nier team.
Whee!
So it's very near.
Why am I so farther up? What the hell?
I'm extremely far back.
That's how that works. But yeah, when we get to the next raid, it is. There are a few Nier references in the next raid. And when I say there are a few Nier references in the next raid, I mean 2B's there.
Yeah.
I mean 2B shows up.
So, yeah.
So it gets pretty weird pretty quickly, because you had the first raid, which was all Nier Automata, and then you had this raid where you go, haha, that's a flower. And then it's all Nier Automata, and then you get to the last raid, and it's like, what game am I playing?
Yeah.
Wait, where am I?
The last raid is a huge treat. If you're here from Drakengard 2 and 1 and 3, the last raid is basically a. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's basically Yoko Taro saying, "Don't worry, I didn't forget that these games exist. Nobody will let me make them."
Yeah. Oh, but I just. Yeah, you don't need to fuck around. You're gonna find out.
But yeah, this is again like all the music in this was composed by Soten, who is the composer for Final Fantasy 14. He is a treat. Nobuo Uematsu has explicitly said that he considers. Is this supposed to be in or out? I think it's
And
yeah.
In.
Well, that's okay. At least I didn't get double hit. Nobuo Uematsu has essentially said that Soten is like the next best person compared to him. And considering Uematsu is unfortunately succumbing to his health problems that he's had his entire life at this point, is good that there's somebody who really does match the Final Fantasy accolades for music.
A lot of the other big point with the music direction for the Nier raid specifically is while the 14 music team was the primary one on it, it was done in junction with Yoko Taro's Nier team. So a lot of the they were able to keep a lot of that feeling because the composers worked together rather than just completely recomposing it, to the point where they just kind of got lazy and put some songs straight in the game.
I mean, they've done that in the past. I mean, there are both remixes and then obvious okay, this is just the song, or it's the orchestral version of the song.
It was if they needed to change it to make it 14, they changed it to have it match 14.
I missed it being a double.
Yep. Oh yeah, so in this one we can only hit the unit that matches our alliance names. You'll see that this one is C-Tri. There's C-Tri, Chi, Beta, Alpha. And so we can only hit the one associated with our alliance.
Until one of them are dead.
Yeah, and at which point the buff that the debuff that we have that only allows us to start at 1 is removed, and we can join and start helping kill the other robots.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is, so at this point, like I said, we are invading the, bunker, that was found on the world of, the first, with 2B, Anog, and Konog in order to stop 2P and the evil white androids, from whatever they are planning, after they decimated a whole village.
So yeah, as I'm sure that you guys can tell, the pace of this one has slowed down a lot. Like, our damage is a lot slower, is because this is a lot closer to the item level. We are significantly stronger than the stat requirement. Okay, I'm in a bad spot. I'm just gonna take this.
Yeah, you'll live. It'll be fine.
Yeah. And I'm the one who taught Frosty how to actually dodge that attack.
Shut up! Actually, I didn't even get hit once, huh?
I know. That's what I was saying. I taught you. I taught you how to. Because you had a hard time learning. That attack is not easy to parse.
What is English just occurred there?
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell it's got all like this. It does feel like Final Fantasy tinges on the near kind of nonsense language kind of sinning that it has going on.
Look, everyone has to go help us.
Yeah.
Bye.
Our boss's hitboxes a lot bigger than displayed, or is his class range? My class is ranged. Dancer uses chakrams. My auto attacks have about a 30-foot range. My melee attacks, which are these ones, have a 5-foot radius.
Dancers are ranged magic DPS, right?
No,
ranged
physical.
Yeah.
They are ranged physical. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I was gonna say, I don't think there is any magical close range.
There is technically
I was gonna say
blue mage is classified as melee magic. But
I was gonna say technically black mage, white mage. If you're talking explicitly in auto attacks, no magic caster is actually ranged.
Yeah.
Correct.
If we're talking explicitly auto attacks, all of the magic casters actually have physical, or melee range auto attacks, like a summoner whacks things with a book.
I whack things with a scythe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this boss that Zell is entering now, if you look on the wall there, you'll see that video playing. That character should be recognizable.
Yeah.
Some of y'all should know who that is. That is, indeed, the Operator 210. I don't know if Zell has it set to appear, but at the beginning of this fight, text will appear on the screen, and you will see the program, or the white android running this machine that you are currently fighting, will state.
Also, yeah, once you're finished doing it, this is another fight we're turning up the music for.
Sorry, yeah, go for it. Will state that they are loading 210's consciousness data into the security system. I had to remember the word security. So for this entire fight, you are fighting against 210. Kind of against her will, because it's the way that they imply it is that it is not 210 herself, but instead the consciousness that was stored within the bunker's security files. But yeah, this entire fight is run by 210, and you have to beat up an operator that you previously worked with as 9S. All right, you can turn it up.
Yeah, and it does say, and it's tucked into 9S, and like, do you remember this place? Because this is another copy of a. It's another copy. Everything in this is copied for
Yeah,
a
this
reason
is
that
the-
we'll
This
show
is
later.
the puppets bunker.
Yeah.
That was the copied factory, which is again, once we watch the next cutscene after this raid, and we get into the third and final raid, and we see what's actually going on, you will understand.
But yeah, I would. I'm gonna turn it up, and I want to see some blob dances because this is a blob dance. Into the Unknown is so good. Yeah, that is a very good boss fight. It's very fun. The music kind of fits the pace into.
Yeah. So after that, obviously 210 pops up back on the screen and says something vague that you can't really understand because it's all staticky, disappears, and this elevator starts descending into,
A semi-DDR segment.
yeah, well, a bullet hell.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to the bullet hell segment. This is, quite literally intended to be a bullet hell.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, Yoko Taro wanted it to be way worse.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Yoshi P kind of told him, please no.
Yototaro also asked if he could delete people's characters if they died too much, and Yoshi P also had to tell him no.
Yeah, that is true.
And, you know, with anyone else, you'd think it was a joke, but it's definitely not a joke when Yototaro says it.
No, yeah, Yoko Taro
So-
definitely intended to just delete people's characters. Because that's just how he is. But, yeah, so this is intended to be kind of a bullet hell, segment to give you that feel of the shmup, that a lot of people are so used to. But for anyone who, has played Nier Automata, you should recognize this hallway.
I've not, and I still hate this hallway even as a 14 player.
This
Yeah.
hallway is very difficult. Even I'm like trying to dodge. I'm not even sure how I'm getting hit half the time.
Oh, I'm at 3 somehow.
Yeah, that's right. It was if you got hit with anything in this hallway, you died automatically and got sent back to the beginning and had to walk down the whole thing again. That's what it was. It wasn't they just dealt damage. It was nope, one hit KOs.
Yep.
It was ridiculous. And Yoshi P kind of this was the I think the one thing Yoshi P told him no on.
Yeah, he apparently did have a lot of creative
Liberty.
leverage in this. Obviously, he is despite the fact that his games have never sold particularly well, he is still considered a great in the games industry as a whole.
Yeah. Hey, Zell, you're gonna die.
Yep, that's okay.
He's fine.
But so yeah. But God, I'm struggling to speak. I'm so sorry. But this hallway is indeed the same hallway from the alien mothership, and as you can see, we're going into the alien mothership bridge. This is where a cutscene called Negotiations in the Nier Automata speedrunning community, and the series of and the very first Adam and Eve fight takes place. So we enter and we see obviously 2B collapsed after a battle with 2P here, and then this happens.
Yeah, so they're starting the fight without me, but I will continue to watch the scene.
Yeah, they can just wait for you to get in there.
You're only DPS. If it was me, it would be a different story.
Get ready for
this
the
is
creepiest.
kind of squeamish. Yeah, if you're squeamish, this entire fight is a little unsettling.
The fight isn't bad. The fight isn't bad. The cutscenes are unsettling.
Yeah.
I'd agree.
Splat. You just run up, just.
Yeah.
4C, sits F, sits E, sits 7-9, sits 9, sits E, sits 7, the compound.
If anybody wants to translate the binary for us, we would appreciate it. But I'm
Too
not
lazy.
doing. I'm too lazy.
I literally had to do binary this morning. I'm not doing it now.
Yeah, I'm not translating this binary. So we get into the fight.
Oh boy, the boss is almost dead. We missed it. Oh man.
Yeah. So this is a 2-phase boss fight.
Oh, you're not supposed to spoil that.
So first phase is this ball, and I'm not gonna tell them what happens after. They get to see that for themselves. But yeah, so we get to kill this ball that may or may not vaguely, look like one of the seeds of destruction.
Probably not.
Probably not. It's vaguely.
It's done. It's bad now. It was
Yeah.
trying to start a different attack there.
I know.
I got a little confused.
Yeah.
It's fine. Nothing's happening.
Yeah, nothing, this isn't bad, right? A bunch of bodies collapsing on the ground isn't, disgusting.
Great, guys. We finished the raid.
All right, somebody translated the binary for us, and apparently it means longing.
Oh, that's Also, yes, we're fighting really big 2P.
Really big 2P made out of a bunch of other little 2Ps. There's going to be more binary here if anybody wants to jot it down real quick and translate it. I don't know if it's going to appear. No, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Damn. But this is the compound 2P fight. This is the true final boss.
It uses mechanics from Savage Raids, by the way. There are multiple mechanics in this fight that are not from Savage Raids, that are used in Ultimate Raids. For whatever reason, they let Yoko Taro do this, which I assume was the compromise of you get hit once you die.
It's actually a pretty difficult fight.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but yeah. So probably one of the more important things about this is, again, like we said, the compound, when it was in its circle form, weirdly vaguely looked like a seed of destruction. Blah 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 blah. But as you saw when 2P took on her compound form, her eyes were red.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time we have seen a boss with red eyes. None of the other bosses have had red eyes.
Oh, I did not move in fast enough.
Yeah.
You're not dead.
So, if you guys remember from our the last 3 games,
I never remember this one.
Yeah, there's a square moving along the line on the ground.
Ah, that's
You
how
look
that
for the
one is.
pulse. You look for the pulse. But yeah, so if you are familiar with the 3 Drakengard games we have previously watched, Red Eyes have probably come up a couple times.
Wonder why.
Did we talk about Red Eyes at all in the Drakengard games?
I don't think they... Oh yeah, here you have to move. You actually have to move forward, else she will knock you into the wall.
Yeah, that's fair. So if we have not talked about Red Eyes yet, that will get talked about in Nier.
Yeah.
And that will get talked about in Nier Automata.
Also, this song is from which game? Dark Colossus? It's from the OG Nier, right?
Yes.
Yes. So this is actually an OG Nier song used in a Final Fantasy 14 game, combined with one of the Final Fantasy 14 main villain themes, using a character that's from Automata. This is where Yoko Taro started to just I think they stopped paying attention to what he was doing.
No, they did this on purpose. all of the musical choices are on purpose.
Well, I mean, yeah. No, this raid is great music.
Yeah, Dark Colossus was also in Automata, I believe. It's used in the City Angles fight. Yeah, Torn from the Heavens, Dark Colossus.
Yeah, Torn from the Heavens
wanna...
is used a few times in this game.
Yeah, I want to say this is the City Angles fight, though, is when this was used. It's either City Angles or Grun, and I just can't remember right now. But Red Eyes will come up in the lore of Automata.
I just realized I've been saying shit and I've been muted.
Oh no!
But yeah, so red eyes are important. Like I said,
Okay.
Just remember this was the first time red eyes have shown up.
Torn from the Heavens has been used in every single X pack.
Yep. It's kind of the
some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, it's kind of this game's like climax theme. It's like the heroes coming to save the day at the last second theme.
Yeah. Well, in ARR, I think it's just the Fate theme.
Yes. Oh no, it's
So you'll hear.
Yeah, Torn from the Heavens is the Final Fantasy XIV song. It's used everywhere, but the song it's mixed with is Dark Colossus, and we were trying to remember where Dark Colossus was.
Oh, this says near, just plain near.
Yeah.
But I don't know exactly where near. Let me see.
Oh,
I was asleep and somehow I'm not dead.
But yeah, so Red Eyes.
Oh, okay. It's sorry. It's one of the main bosses in here, and I will leave it at that.
Yes, we can talk about that. You should recognize a lot of these songs when we get to the next game, which is going to be Near by Skate, who I think holds the current world record in that game. Did Skate take that? Yeah. So y'all are gonna get to see that game run by its world record holder, which will be pretty pog. So Red Eyes are. God, how do I explain Red Eyes being as vague as physically possible?
I would say just
Red
let Red
means
Eyes be.
bad.
I would say that red means bad. It gets explained more in the games that are coming up. It's probably better to leave it at that.
I don't even want to say red eyes mean bad, but red eyes mean
Frowny face.
red eyes mean something. So again, like I said, yeah, when the compound takes on its 2P form, that is the first time we see a boss with red eyes. So the red eyes red eyes are sus. Yeah, it's generally a bad sign. Depending on your opinion of what's going on in these games and how they work, whether or not they're actually evil is kind of like whether they're bad is kind of up for debate. But yes, red eyes means something's going down. So I'll leave it at that, because red eyes. That was the whole thing. Red eyes.
So there's one cutscene we'll watch that shows the Seed of Destruction. I think I will get the right
Resurrection.
one.
It is a Seed of Resurrection.
Yes. I think it's Crime and Punishment.
I want to say so. I thought we figured this out before this.
Well, yeah, but I still am not sure. I didn't watch through it. I should have.
No, this is where they scream at them to get out of the village.
Oh, okay. So this is Crime and Punishment is the raid. Take one sin.
Yeah, so we get kicked out.
Is this it? When we're in the bunker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, here it is. So, Konog has gone missing. And Anog has gone missing, and then Konog goes missing, so we go to find them both. And we go back into the Puppet's bunker to locate Konog, because we think that might be where Konog is. And it is. And we find Konog standing in front of this. Which, for anyone who watched Drakengard 1 or Drakengard 2, will recognize as our beautiful friend, the Seed of Resurrection and or Seed of Destruction.
Yep. The character in this scene, I think, is different depending on a choice that you made earlier. It doesn't actually affect anything.
It is not.
No, it's the same. It's always okay.
It's always the same.
Yeah, there's a couple quests where the characters are swapped. Just because
you can pick whether you go with Anog or Konog, and it'll whoever you go with.
Yeah, we'll change slightly, but that's it's just it is purely their name swap and their look swaps. That's it. And here,
we get.
Yeah, sorry. I'll quickly explain what's happening here. Is that I have to skip that scene. So the Warrior of Light our Warrior of Light has an ability of empathetic visions. Basically, whenever they get
Echo.
Yeah, it's called the Echo. Echo manifests in different ways in different people. Our character has almost all the manifestations of the Echo. The main one that pops up in the story itself is our character has the ability to see the past when near somebody who is feeling a strong emotion towards that event, and we can kind of see through their eyes.
Yeah, so we basically come across Konog and the Seed, and fall into one of our visions of the past, And this is Konog and Anog's adventure that led to them discovering the Seed of Resurrection, and ultimately, what leads to everything that's happening.
Also, yes, Anod is a girl. All dwarves wear the same helmet, and they will headbutt your balls if you call them by the wrong gender.
Yeah, Konog is a guy, Anog is a girl.
Yep.
By the way, Konog is the brother twin, and then Anog is the female twin. Konog is more logical and reserved, whereas Anog is the super adventurous and loud one. The beards are part of the helmet. Yeah.
Yes, the beards are to cover their face. They only show their face to close family.
Yeah. So, oh no! The roof was collapsing and Konog was gonna get crushed. But Anog quickly pushes him out of the way. But hey guys, where's Anog? Where'd Anog?
Dun, dun, dun. Well, that's interesting.
And no, we're not getting new races ever. We lost our privileges to new races. You can blame the people who complain about Vieira and Hothragar.
The dwarf race is actually playable. They're just fucking Lollafels in helmets.
Yes, it's that people want like the variations. Is like, you know, how you can pick Sun, Moon for like they want the variations added. But yeah, we're not getting new races ever again. And you can blame the people who complain about.
Excuse you. They did us dirty without adding male Vieira. I'm necessarily not upset that they didn't, but also they did us dirty.
I mean,
but yeah, so we have found Anog's helmet outside of the rubble collapse. And we are following a suspicious trail of Anog's body parts?
Or clothing?
Yeah, clothing, body parts, something. Yeah, like... But yeah, there's that. We see a mysterious flash and right around the corner. And there it is. The seed. It, has appeared in front of us. Or appeared in front of Konog. What do you think Konog's gonna do? He is gonna run up to this vague, mysterious object and scream for his sister.
And then get blinded.
Like normal.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So the seed reads his desires. And poops out a new Anog. Too late, already touched it. So there's actually your first look at Anog's face. So we see here our Dwarven facsimile, as it is called initially. It reads Konog's heart, just like the seed did, and gains all of Konog's memories of who Anog was. And the Anog we have been with this entire time, we have now learned, is indeed a copy.
Oh, that was a quick cue.
well, I mean, it's thankfully we're doing this
the
on a
most
Wednesday.
content. People are going to be doing this a lot.
this one. Yeah, this
Yeah, this one is gonna be instant.
yeah. So this.
Um,
It isn't Wednesday.
Oh, well, I mean,
yeah.
it's Thursday.
Thursday.
It's Thursday at
Well,
4
anyway.
a.m. 4 p.m. So.
Yeah. So obviously we have now learned our Anog was a copy. So, in between all of this, Konog collapses again. We have some more discussions. What we did not mention was that after the last raid, when we came out, prior to Anog vanishing, 2B takes 9S's body and fucks off. So this entire time it has just been us and Konog looking for the missing Anog. The way that this raid starts, as you can see 2B, 9S, and Anog standing there. Konog collapses with a severe fever from not sleeping and not eating for several days of looking for his sister. And they all show back up looking for you because Anog needs your help. Because the tower has manifested and they need your help to destroy the Seed of Resurrection. So you enter the tower with 9S, 2B, and Anog after kind of, locking Konog in like a room and not telling him where you're going so that he can't show up and fuck everything up by trying to save his sister. Again, and the three of you go in here.
And then we go into here. And we are inside of 2B's hacking minigame, essentially.
Yeah,
I was
so
about to say, these should
9S,
look.
9S initiates the hack, and we get to go inside the hack and help 9S. So,
Yep.
hi, welcome to an entire raid of a hacking minigame.
Yep.
Now, we kept talking, so you see here 910P is going to say some lines and some stuff, and this, you won't recognize this boss yet unless you've played the original Nier. Oh, but boy howdy will you when he shows up in the original Nier. The Knave of, I'm not gonna, we will, oh god, it's gonna be so hard. I'm just gonna spoil it. He is called Jack in the original Nier. I'm gonna keep calling him Jack because I don't want to say Knave of Hearts because it's wrong. So this boss, the Knave of Hearts, is like a cloned copy of the boss Jack from the original Nier. This is not like a subtle, oh, that machine looks like Zero's flower. No, this is Jack. This is what he looks like in the original Nier, right down to the pixel.
And the song that we were talking about in the last raid, it actually happens in that battle, and that is all I will say about that.
Yes. Oh yeah, thank you, Zared, for reminding us. Forewarning, now that this raid is beginning, if you are photosensitive,
yes, there is a
please
yes.
turn the stream off.
Well, yeah.
This raid has a lot of flashing lights. It has a lot of, it has a jump scare, but it has a lot of screen visual effects that were found to cause people with photosensitivity and epilepsy to have seizures.
Yes, it's not as bad as it's not as bad as another Square game that caused severe epilepsies. But if you do have diagnosed like seizures and photosensitivity, please come back in about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
Or I can post in text chat if you want to.
Yeah, we can.
If
you want to watch them, every single one of us in the call knows exactly when those things are going to happen. We can't say, "Hey, it's this fight." Turn it off. We can post in the chat when it's over if you want to keep an eye on the chat. But Jack is not that bad. Jack is kind of a normal boss. He has like some particle effects and stuff that are kind of bright. Like the stomp that he just did. But when we get to the third boss fight, it is a visual trip. There is a lot of shit going on the screen, and specifically, it's mostly that one. It's mostly the third boss fight it has come up that it has caused seizures.
Yeah. Oh, wow, easy.
So, Square is looking into what they're going to do about it right now, but as of this patch, it has not been fixed. So
it most likely won't be fixed for a couple of weeks. I assume that they're going to save it for it's a pretty big change, so they'll probably have to save it for a major patch. But yeah.
So once we get done with our second boss fight, we will basically say, hey, from here until we post, it is safe in chat. There is going to be a lot of visual effects on the screen. Anyone who is overly photosensitive, it would be in your best interest to turn off. Now, if you are brave enough to stick around with us, despite our warnings, we have warned you. You can't sue Zell if you have a seizure watching his stream.
So yeah, this fight is interesting. So you're gonna see that each of these guys are gonna do attacks in a certain order. We're gonna have to make sure to be in the right spot at the right time to dodge them. Oh, I didn't dodge that one.
Good job. I'm also going to point out, just because it's a cute little thing that they did in this raid. As you guys can see, they're still doing the thing where the balls are coming out and they're going pew 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 pew, pew, just like they have in the last like 3, right? They're using the same ball particle effect. If you take a close look at the balls in this fight and the next fight, they don't look like the ones from the last 2 raids. They swapped out the effect palette for those balls for this fight and the second fight from the Nier Automata ball effect to the original Nier ball effect.
Yeah.
So the balls that you see in this one that gets shot out by Jack, all of that, like the ones that get shot out by Jack, etc. If you look closely at them, they do look different, and that is because they are using the original particle effects from Nier Replicant and Nier Gestalt, and not the particle effects from Automata. Yep.
I love that touch. Like, the fact that they went through that, and considering that this boss is from Gestalt.
Oh.
You were in the wrong spot!
Yeah. I always forget the second time around it does the nave, the main nave shoots out a beam.
He does one or the other. You gotta check which one it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Oh, that is from the original.
It is. It is the particle effect from the original Nier, not the Automata one you have been seeing up until now. It was...
Yeah.
When me and Dale ran this for the first time, the day it came out, we were screaming. So yeah, if you look at it closely, they're appearing on screen now.
Yeah.
It's the magical balls from the original Nier and not the Automata.
This is actually my first time seeing the tower since it's so new, and I'm so psyched. I love this.
Yeah, this is like we said. The third one in this is significantly more of a love letter to the rest of the franchise. While the first 2 were leaning towards Automata.
Hey, you know so back to what I was saying. I just stopped having words.
My words.
The only Automata, there are 2 Automata references in this entire raid. One is the fact that the tower exists. 2 is a boss that I'm not gonna spoil. And when we get to that boss, I will point it out. But yeah, that's it. That's it. Those are the tower is like the only Automata reference in this entire raid. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, people are asking why the 6-hour estimate, especially when you consider this particular raid is relatively new. You don't always know who you're gonna get in your group, and whether or not they know what they're doing.
Yeah, most of these raids take about 45 minutes, but considering the wait time, plus the fact that we were watching some cutscenes in between, we set the estimate fairly high to ensure we had the time to do it.
There was a significant chance that the other raid would have done overtime, like the other 2 could have, that weren't going to. This one could. It looks like this group is fairly competent. I don't see this one being long. The other reason is that actually the final runner of the event has a pretty hard start time, so we can't really start early for him. So we're gonna fill in with other Final Fantasy 14 stuff as kind of a palate cleanser, because
we're gonna chill. We're gonna chill until he's ready because the runner for Nier, which is the next game, he's not the final runner of the series,
sorry, I thought it was the Nier runner had the Automata runner had a hard start time.
No, the 2 Automata runners don't give a fuck. The Nier runner skate. Our Nier runner skate could not get off work, so he can't do his run until he gets home. So we're kind of stuck waiting for skate.
Oh, so here's Estrella's character. Oh, she ran away.
Didn't
There.
run away. I just turned around, you dum-dum.
Oh, right. So, yeah, okay. So, luckily I turned away, so I was looking at mostly white. That was kind of one of the first effects, but that's pretty much the only one for this fight. And here's Hansel and Gretel from the first game. From Nier.
From Gestalt and
Oh my
Replica.
god, they're actually doing it! I won't die every time I cast,
I know,
That's
it's
it.
the worst!
I won't die every time I attempt to cast any of my AoE.
Okay, so, me and Zell are both dancer mains, so we have the same pain point in this fight, which is why we're yelling.
Yeah.
So, again, anybody who has played the original Nier, you will recognize this boss. Yes, it is indeed just a straight copy and paste of Hansel and Gretel. There they are.
So, they do have different health bars, and we do actually kind of have to kill them at roughly the same time. They will sometimes be... I wasn't paying attention.
I wasn't paying attention.
I was trying to get off a text. I wanted to get off the text step more than anything.
Yeah, that's what it is to Manaki, is a lot of people haven't, like, since it's still, like, within a week of release, some people haven't figured out that they should, you know, turn the shield boss around so dancers don't kill themselves. But here we are.
We actually found it.
Fucking
To be fair, I mean, on week 1, it was definitely safer to turn it away, the way that Automata worked, the way that Final Fantasy 14 works. Usually, boss, I was like away from the attack.
Yeah, I know. That's what happened to me.
I was trying to avoid the AoE until I got a heal.
I'm just gonna sit on the floor. Okay, I'm getting up now.
Okay, for just to bring some folks up to speed, because there was a question. I'm here mostly for some of the lore, because I am actually a little babby sprite when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV. So I am not in Shadowbringers. I know certain things about Shadowbringers, so I'm not as worried about the spoilers, and especially since this isn't really the MS2 stuff, I'm not as worried about it, and I still enjoy being here with all these lovely people.
Yeah.
I play FF14 regularly, and I play high-end Savage content, so I'm incredibly familiar with a lot of the stuff going on. But I also happen to be one of the Draken Nier community members and one of the speedrunners from that. So it was incredibly convenient, for lack of a better word, for Zell.
So they're gonna swap here.
I've
So
got
it's
two.
actually gonna be the opposite of what it shows.
Go south. Go south, Zell.
Huh?
South.
Why is
South.
everyone standing here?
Because they're wrong.
But yeah, so the
I
story.
love that.
So right now the only ending that is out for the raid is ending A, and a new ending is going to release every single week from here on for the next couple weeks.
Wait, what? There's multiple endings?
Yes.
No.
Well, I thought that's what they said. People are calling it ending.
People were originally speculating that it was going to be multiple endings, but it's not. You were on the wrong side. I didn't notice. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I was gonna eat shit there either way. I've actually only done this fight once because.
Aw.
And then there's me, who this is like my 5th time, and I'm dying like I'm like an idiot.
Yeah.
So the way that it was explained to me, based on what's kind of come out, is it's not necessarily going to be multiple endings, but the weekly quest that you go and you do when you do the weekly quest, because each week a new weekly is going to come out.
Oh yeah, I need to do that this week.
Is going to tack on to the ending and just add more and more context. It's not gonna be like, it's kind of like, it's not gonna be like multiple endings. It's more gonna be just, you're gonna get a little bit more and more of the story and a little bit more and more of the information as you collect items.
Yeah. This is. Oh my God! No.
Speaking of Skate, there's Skate. Hey, Skate.
When this raid is close to the end, I'm gonna kill myself on the kill wall, just to get rid of my stacks.
It's fine. I'm almost done my stack, so I don't
But yeah,
care.
hey, Skate, if you didn't know, Hansel and Gretel are a boss in Final Fantasy XIV.
So is Jack.
And so is Jack.
Yeah. Yeah. Also,
Oh, I'm
do
dead!
you know which song this is that's playing? I really like it.
That would be a Skate question.
Isn't this just... It's like one of the main themes, right? Like one of the main battle themes?
This is one of the near themes.
That's
hang on.
probably why I
Dale.
like it.
Yeah, no, this is just Song of the Ancients from... This is
Okay.
Song of the Ancients without the prelude. Yeah, that's it.
Gotcha. Oh, I love some of the vocal tracks from Nier Automata so much.
Because in the first raid we had Song of the Ancients prelude version.
Yeah, it's so it's Song of the Ancients Atonement or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
Specifically, it's Atonement.
Cool. Because I want to add this to so many playlists.
I couldn't remember the name.
Eventually, they will release. I think they've said that they're going to release an entire album of this raid's soundtrack.
That doesn't surprise me, considering
There's-
the track
Yeah.
record
my
of.
light's up here. I'm getting bullied. I don't know if you guys can hear Dale Duck in the background. He's
Oh.
in the same room as me.
No.
He told me I have to cancel my White Snow pre-order because I couldn't remember the name of Atonement. I'm not Song of the Ancients Atonement. That I.
You know, I'll
I'm not
take
allowed
that
to be
off
in.
you.
I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to be in the community anymore. I've been kicked out because I don't remember song names for the life of me.
I don't either. One of my favorite FF14 songs is actually from Shadowbringers, and I
Yeah.
always forget the actual name of it. I always have to say, it's this boss.
Is it Tomorrow
yeah,
On to Tomorrow?
No, it's What Angel Wakes Me.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love that song.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
it's
the
so
person
good.
I'm the person that'll sit here and you'll play the song and it'll go, oh, that plays during this boss fight. Yeah, what's it called? I don't fucking know.
Screw it. We're listening.
Well,
We're
what-
listening to What Angel Waits Me Pulse version
Yes.
briefly.
Yes.
Oh, I love the Pulse
Zared,
version.
Zared pointed it out. We have gotten through the second boss fight, so we are going to go through a little section here with some dialogue, and then going into this next section until Axis or I post in chat. Please remember photosensitivity warning. This is a photosensitivity warning. This next fight has a jump scare. This fight has not this next fight, but this next boss fight has a jump scare, and there are several bright light flashes from visual effects that will appear on the screen. So if you are photosensitive, I would pause the stream now. You could listen to us talk about lore, because unfortunately this next fight has huge lore implications. So you could always pop it out and have audio only.
Jump
but-
scare incoming. Oh wait, is
No.
it? No, I thought it was
No,
straight
it's
here.
not this fight, it's the next
No?
fight. It's the
Oh, I
next
thought
fight.
there was a jump scare
Right.
during this fight.
It's at the it's there is not a jump scare necessarily. There's there's a small visual effect. But if you have your camera turned away from it, you won't see it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm away from the
So,
boss, it
at
won't
the
show
end of
the.
Yeah. If at the end of this fight, if you are facing away from where a certain character appears on the ground, you actually do not get the visual effect.
Okay.
Because I didn't know she appeared the very first time I ran this, because I was facing the wrong direction. And my buddy who was running it with me went, "What the fuck?" And then I was like, "What are you talking about?" And I turned around and I went, "When did she get there?"
Yeah, the jump scare that's going to be coming up. I
It's-
was
it's-
playing
it's
this
a- it's a
alone the first
transition.
time.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
transition.
transition jump
She
scare.
was playing it because I remember. So the first time we were supposed to play this, my work, I work from home, and sometimes the computer thing that we use breaks. And
And
so
I
I
point
was
and laugh at it.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I get to sit there and not do anything for work, which is nice, and I get paid for it. So that happened, but then usually fixes itself, but it took a while. So I was like, screw it, let's do it. Let's start the raid. I bet it.
Okay.
It seems like it's a day. So then I had to
Can
leave
we talk?
here.
Oh, sorry.
That's
you,
okay.
You go ahead and finish.
I had to
This
leave
is
here,
totally off
and then
topic.
about 20 to 30 minutes later, I get a message of Jesus Christ from Frosty on
I
Discord.
actually fell out of my chair.
Yeah, but when all of these 2Ps finish is when the visual effects will begin. And again, me and Axis will post in chat when it is over. So starting here, that's the first one.
It's gonna do that and a couple other things a few times.
Yep, and you can see her in the corner of Zell's screen there. But
Where?
with that visual effect, they just popped off. A bunch of red girls have appeared. For those who have played Nier Automata, you'll recognize Red Girl as the creepy chick from the tower. What's she doing
there
here?
she is.
Also,
There she
there's
is
a red
again.
girl over there.
Yeah, there's Red Girl over there.
Yeah,
that pops
they
up.
actually apparently pop up in random spots, and people have said that they've seen red girls at on different towers in between fights, but like it's completely inconsistent and not. It is just you cannot predict it.
It has been confirmed. Confirming being me, the person that's ran this too many fucking times.
Yeah.
It is just a random integer that will randomly pick which tower.
Yeah, she'll just be on one of them.
Oh, that's cool.
So,
There's no effect.
for those who are familiar with Automata, you will indeed again recognize this character. This is Red Girl. Red Girl is the young girl in the red and black dress with long black hair. That does appear outside of the tower in Nier Automata, and is kind of, for lack of a better word, the antagonist at that point that is goading you to traverse the tower and discover the secrets, as 9S and A2. Evil Bit, you will see it when it comes up. Oh, this is why this fight is such a warning, is there are so many particle effects.
Yeah, there's it's all white and black particle effect. So if that is your specific brand, like type of photosensitivity, is white and black flickers. This fight is not good. And unfortunately, they'll probably what they'll have to do is change all of the black to kind of a more gray.
Yeah, that was one of the flashes when all of that vanishes. The white and the black is, however, if you guys remember, a reference to Drakengard 1, where everything is white or black. Yeah, so here's one of your other references. Red Girl is the second Nier Automata reference, as I had said. Other than the tower, she is the only direct Nier reference. We're gonna watch Zell just kind of stand here and pray to God he doesn't die.
Can I take a moment to mention
bid
something slightly different? Like the fact that in an interview when Dark Apocolypse first started releasing, Yoshi P was like, "It's all up to Yoko Taro, but I do hope that he doesn't go so far as to destroy all our data centers or anything."
Yeah, there have been a lot of jokes. The jump scare will come up, by the way, when Red Girl reaches approximately 50% health.
Yep.
For those that, even if you might not be photosensitive, are not a fan of, things popping up on your screen.
Or are me and fall out of your chair.
Yeah, keep an eye on that health bar.
It'll
at 50%.
be probably right after this attack.
Yeah, you might get like one more mini phase before you get there, but yeah. But yeah, so,
Also, funny fact on that, I hope he doesn't destroy our data centers. There actually did have to have multiple emergency maintenances during this patch, so...
So many people tried to queue for this raid when it first came out that it crashed.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not
3 data
surprised.
centers.
Oh, actually, yeah, I remember getting the notices from the app that like 3 data centers went down.
3 data centers,
Yeah.
there were three of the largest population, there it is, that's the jump scare.
Yep. Okay. Ooh,
Yep.
weird. Creepy.
Three of the largest data centers, ironically, including the one that I am on. I was on one of them.
Did ours go down or no?
Yeah, so right there it is. Oh god. Here she coming. Oh lord, she coming. Hey, y'all ever want to play a shmup, a twin stick shmup in 14? Here you go. Welcome to a joke. I don't know what their goal was when they added this in, but oh boy howdy, did they. It's so good. The hacking game bit is so good, dude. So you actually get to play the hacking game. It's so good. But now Red Girl's just gonna be off to the side and massive and doing a bunch of stuff. So Red Girl, I don't know what to say about Red Girl, to be completely honest, because there's so little we know about her, because she doesn't show up in Automata until the very end with the tower. And then this raid is the first time we really get to talk to her. And I say that because she does talk to the player character throughout the raid and all of that during etc. Like, she talks to you guys. You hear her just voice throughout the raid as she goes you on and says things. So with the addition of this raid, it's kind of heavily imply. You're gonna die, Zell. You need to back up. Oh, you should be good.
Yeah, I just had to pay, see where the
Yeah.
arrows were.
Oh, that was close for you.
It's not as close as you think. That's actually exactly what you want to happen. Zell did that perfectly. So this is kind of the first time we get more information about her in the Nier lore. So I'm going to be vague about what happens in the Nier Tower so that Segoy and Owlyark have something to talk about at 1 in the morning when they're doing their race. But in this raid, it's actually heavily implied that the point of the tower and Red Girl was to feed the Seed of Resurrection in this timeline and set it off. It's kind of more or less brought up that she is the one controlling the white androids, and that she is kind of the one behind this whole incident. So you, as a group, need to stop her. You're gonna die to this meteor effect.
Oh right, meteor.
You barely made that.
You did.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting, it won't let you place anything during that effect.
Yeah. But yeah, so it's kind of weird, yeah, it's kind of weird, that she is kind of your main villain here, as far as you are aware. So you will see at the end of this fight, you don't actually finish her off. She kind of runs, and goes to, cause trouble elsewhere. And you chase her down, to ultimately, bring the raid to an end. Which should be happening here momentarily. You'll see her kind of flip out of existence rather than dying. But yeah, it's kind of implied very heavily that Red Girl is ultimately, at the end of the day, the reason all of this is happening.
And blip.
Okay. If you're listening, you have a minimized player. For the most part, the particle effects are the scary particle effects are done.
Oh, that actually looks like a super nice thing. I actually am gonna love this set. God damn it.
So for those who are familiar with Nier, by the way, obviously all of the gear in this raid that drops does look like stuff from the game. So we have a set that is based, or the caster and healer sets are Devila and Popola's outfit. The physical DPS are all Anemone. They're all like color variations of Anemone's outfit from the Resistance camp. And then the fending and maiming sets are based on the operators from Yorha.
And then I'm currently in last raid's 2B sets.
Yeah.
Minus
There
the
is-
blindfold.
And now you can get 2B's hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
2B and 9S's haircuts do drop out of this raid as a reward at the end.
Good luck getting them though. You have to roll against 24 other people.
23.
23
Do
other.
your math.
I mean, if somebody already has it, at least you're not rolling against them.
Not necessarily. There are ways for people to hoard them.
They're not sellable on the market board. I'm pretty sure it
Nope.
locks you out of.
If they're on your retainers, you can still pick them up for some reason, and people have been doing that. Because people are bad.
sellable.
People are mean. They're not sellable, but for some reason they hoard them. I have... Okay, so I'll cop to it. I have 3 different colored sets of 2B armor.
No, not the 2B armor. The hair.
Right.
Thing.
I'm just saying, like...
I have 2 sets of 2B armor.
I
I got
have
3.
three.
Yeah, I got 3 as well. Because I am
Are
not...
the market board sellable?
That...
Somebody's saying they are.
Yeah.
It lets you without any repercussions. I, in my inventory, have had from all 3 sets.
Yeah.
No, yeah, the 2B outfit you could get as many as you want, but the haircut shouldn't have been. That's stupid.
Yeah, the haircut
They
is...
may have made a mistake with that. I see that getting fixed in a patch.
Most likely.
Yeah.
They are marked as they're if you hover over it, Lottie, it says that they have no market sell price.
No market
sell price is 0.
So no sell price of 0 just means that they sell for 0 to a vendor.
Well, no, it just says there is no sell price. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll check. I mean, I could check when we get to the end.
They
It
are
says
market prohibited.
Oh. Who's telling the truth?
Not me. 'Cause I'm tired.
I mean, I can just log into my 14 and go check my data center.
Pretty much. I hate those balls so fucking much.
But yeah, you guys obviously recognize these are Zenji and Mengshi. They are copies of Rokushi and Rokushi? Yeah. No, you're good.
Oh. So yeah, I guess
I
they.
think
Well,
they
I guess they
people
made it. They do in fact like it when cosmetics are tradable among players and sellable on the market board. I mean, you can see that they just added things that are worth hundreds of millions of gil. So.
Koshi and Roshi, yeah, it's like Koshi and Roshi. They're copies of those two. So we are entering the so there's going to be a cutscene here. You can see up there that there is the Seed of Resurrection or the Seed of Destruction at this point. That the Anog, Konog, or Anog, 2B, and 9S are trying to destroy.
Oh yeah, this just creepy.
As you can see here, there's the red girl. She very clearly is, trying to activate this, and at this point you discover she is trying to use the seed to basically consume your world and destroy it.
That's a lot of cutscene watchers, apparently.
It's still new, so it is lucky that we seem to have done a lot of new players.
So she allows herself to be absorbed into the seed to give it the last final push it needs.
This is 100% canon to both Nier and Final Fantasy.
This is 100% canon to both. So you can see from the angelic green, the seed will drop down. and you will see something incredibly familiar from both
Yep.
Dodd 1 and Dodd 3 as the seed gives birth. Oh, look. That is a queen beast. So we have here a corrupted queen beast from
Drakengard 1, right?
Drakengard 1 and Drakengard 3. If you remember the ending
Yep.
of Drakengard 3, 0 turns into 1 as well.
Yep. Exactly. And I think this model is a little more akin to what 0 looked
It is,
like.
yes, it is intended to look like Zero's.
Yep.
Mhm.
And yeah, try to let's finish because I think people will want to listen to the last song, and then we can if you explain everything here, and then we can kind of explain the implications of the final boss after.
After the final boss. Yeah, that's
Yes.
fine.
Oh, I was not paying attention. That's okay.
Yeah. So you'll see here a lot of the mechanics in this fight are incredibly reminiscent of the original Nier game. And Drakengard, they're going to have a lot of visual effects. This boss's raid-wide AoE is just a bunch of bars of Angelic going across the screen. It looks exactly how the final song looks. I want to say it's called Lighter Note. This is Rhythm Ring. So she will bring down the balls, and when they hit the rhythm rings, they will explode and cut that entire section of the board, so you just kind of have to dance back and forth between the rings to not get hit by balls. But yeah, this is the false idol. Like I said, that's it's a queen beast. She's fine. This is the exact same final boss you guys fought, or you just watched get fought in Drakengard 1 and Drakengard 3. And she's just... It's not the same one. I shouldn't say the same one. It is a creature reminiscent of that,
Yep.
born from the seed.
And when we hit 50% on this fight, something very special is going to happen. And there's
Yeah,
the
there you
final
go.
song.
That's the song that I was talking about, where she spits out a bunch of rings of angelic. But yeah, there's a lot going on.
Oh, I thought it was fading out. I thought we already hit it, but no. The music will fade out, and then we will be quiet for the rest, because it is a visual audio treat.
The one thing I will say, because I don't know if Zell has noticed this yet, and I want to hear Zell's reaction, is when a certain object comes flying at you from underneath.
Yes, I know it. I'll call it out when it happens. Don't worry. I will call out that one thing because it's right at the start. I will make sure to mention it.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I do.
Oh my god. I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, so
It's
here it
very
is. This
funny.
should after this rhythm rings.
Yeah, after this rhythm rings.
Oh
she
no,
should tramp.
she didn't use the rhythm. Yeah, so it casted it and then it ended the cast. So
To throw these gates wide. Yes, the redacted building.
yeah.
Yep.
So I'm gonna turn it up, and you guys enjoy. If you are a fan of the OG
original.
Nier,
Yeah, you guys are in. for
there
it,
is
yeah.
some lore implications here that we will discuss after.
Yup. Ebony, we are not quite sure. It's kind of up for debate.
This is in her inflorescence.
Yep. This is the true final boss of this raid, and the true final boss of this segment of Final Fantasy 14. Her inflorescence, and please enjoy one of the best remixes of Kaine that is ever. Here it is.
Yeah.
This is the one thing that
Recreate
we-
structure.
I wonder what structure she's gonna recreate. Oh, that's funny. So I'll turn around so we can see it.
Yeah, I am.
There it is. Look at the top of the building. At the top of the building, you will see the letters SQE. This chick just chucked the Square Enix headquarters at us.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Oh my god.
As somebody on YouTube described, the conversation probably was, Yoshi P, what attacks is the final boss gonna have? The Square Enix headquarters. Wait, what? the Square Enix headquarters.
And I stuttered.
Also a
Yes.
train.
Oh my god, it is. It's like a whole section of the building.
Yep. It has the SQE at the top, and it is literally a cross section of the Square Enix building from Tokyo, Japan. Also, before you exit the raid, walk if you can go to one of the edges so that everybody can see. If you guys didn't notice, we were teleported. You guessed it, onto the top of the building in Tokyo.
Tokyo. Yeah.
And that is where this final boss is fought, and we should all shut up because we're interrupting Kanye.
And I'm too busy crying anyway.
But yeah, this song is specifically called Kanye.
Kanye.
Sorry, Kaye Prelude. Because this is right here, the Final Fantasy intro.
But yeah, this song is a bop. So I'm gonna listen to it. Also, one of her other attacks, she draws directly from Automata, which is these two right here, where she calls forward the bricks, and she swipes like.
Oh, this doesn't look familiar at all. No.
Somebody cover Rod's eyes.
Yeah, where's Rod? Y'all recognize the Dod 1 final boss? Because there's the Dod 1 final boss. The rings are back. Technical is correct.
Now, if you think this music is insane for a boss fight, this is kind of on par for the entire OST of this entire game. Every boss fight has insane music in 14.
The music in 14 is one of its biggest selling points.
Agreed. Oh my god.
But yeah, if you look super closely at this boss, there is there's a physical reference in there somewhere to every female protagonist in the near Dragon universe, in addition to things like
I'm trying to lower the particle effect so people can see a little bit better.
Yeah. I will point something out at the end of this night, because it is the only time it occurs before you pull up the bars, and it's a very interesting thought.
I'm just ready to hit by the building so you can see what happens, guys. Whee!
There you go! And here's the final cutscene. As she collapses, you will get a very good look at the combination of them all. But did you notice something missing?
No, I don't know the franchise enough.
There is no victory theme.
Oh, you're right. Yes, yes. This
There,
isn't
there
uncommon, actually.
This is the first time in a 24-man raid that there is no victory tone at the end of the final boss fight.
Yep.
And it is also the first time an entire area has had no music at the end. Only
is that-
hear the wind of the building.
Yeah, I'll try to get some shots while we're waiting for rolls. I actually have a decent chance of winning something here.
Ooh, what'd you get? Oh, you got the stubby!
Yay, Stubby!
Can I have
Oh, I
it?
got nothing else. No, you can't trade it. Oh yeah, so here it is. Yeah, you can see here. So it sells for 1 gil, and its shop selling price is none because you can't buy it from a shop, but it is marketable.
Okay.
It's like people don't have to do the content and they can still buy it. But yeah, that is the Yorha Dark Apocalypse. It's technically, the story's not technically finished yet.
We can go into a little bit of detail now.